Hey everybody, movie reviewer next door here, and I'm back on another review. This time I saw Cat Ballou. And this is a Western comedy film directed by Elliot Silverstein from 1965, and it stars Jane Fonda, Lee Marvin, Michael Callan, Dwayne Hickman, Nat King Cole, Stubby Kaye, and Tom Nardini. In this film, a woman seeking revenge for a murdered father hires a famous gunman, but he's very different from what she expects. So, what did I think of Cat Ballou? Well, I had never seen this film before. My grandma wanted to watch it, and I was like, all right, that's fine. And I enjoyed it. I did like it. Even though I have my problems with Jane Fonda as a person nowadays, I can put that aside because this movie's actually pretty fucking good. Um, it's not, I wouldn't say it's a classic for me. Kind of like True Grit I just talked about. I do like the film, but it doesn't have that. And I'll give it this. It's surprisingly funny, given that a lot of older movies tend to either be a bit held back when it comes to comedy or a bit a bit too broad for my taste. But I genuinely thought the comedy here was pretty funny. Um, the and I thought the acting was pretty good, but let me get to the actors. Jane Fonda plays Catherine Cat Ballou. She's a school teacher who's basically on this mission to avenge her father after her father's killed by an evil, by a land developer who hires a hitman, also played by Lee Marvin, to um so that the landowner can take the dad's land because he refused to sell it. Jane Fonda, I think, is pretty funny here. I think she has quite a bit of charm, quite a bit of charisma. You can see why she's a famous actor alongside her dad or alongside her brother. Um, I never knew her dad that much, so can't really comment, but her and Peter are pretty decent actors. Lee Marvin plays both Kid Shalene and Tim Strawn, the hitman hired by the land developer, and Kid Shalene is a like Western legend who has like comic books made about him, and I'll explain how that comes into the movie. But Lee Marvin, I think, does a great job playing the slow progression of this drunk who used to be this great gunfighter, realizing that, oh wait, the more I drink, the worse I get at shooting. So he slowly gets weaned off of it, and then he's back to his gunfighter gunfighter past. But yeah, Lee Marvin won Best Actor for this film. I don't know if it's quite that, but I did really enjoy his performance here. Michael Callan plays Clay Boone. He's a an outlaw that basically ends up helping Cat. He's fine, nothing much about him. Dwayne Hickman plays Jed. He's another outlaw. The Clay and Jed are the two outlaws that like kind of just get into the story while trying to rob a train. Uh, they're fine. Nat King Cole plays Shouter, Sunrise Kid. This isn't really so much an acting performance as it is a singing performance, and his singing was pretty good. Same with Stubby Kaye, who was a comedian back in the day. I don't know a ton about him. I'm not super into that old of comedy, but they did fine. And Tom Nardini as Jackson Two Bears. He's basically a Native American guy who's working on Cat's farm or Cat's dad's farm. I thought he did a great job actually. He won a BAFTA or something for best newcomer, and I did think his performance was pretty good actually. But let me get what I don't like about this film out of the way. Um the relationship between Cat and forgot his name already. Clay. I didn't really buy it that much. It's supposed to be like a love at first sight type thing, and I don't think it really works when she just kind of forgets that he's an outlaw and is just like, I don't care, I'm doing this to get what I want. And then the relationship, like near the end of the movie, it's supposed to be like, oh no, he doesn't want to settle down with her, and I don't really care. There's not a lot to endear me to this character, so I don't really care that much about the relationship. Um, the revenge again, I think, is kind of weak in this. Uh, Also the climactic battle between or the like end of second act fight between Lee Marvin or between Kid Shalene and Tim Strawn is very anticlimactic given he's the one that killed her father. It's very like it happens off screen. Like there's like a slow build up to it, but it doesn't happen on screen mostly because again, Lee Marvin's not playing the character. He's playing both of these characters, so it's a stand-in for um Tim Strawn. So I guess it kind of makes sense that it happens off screen, but I also kind of wish they would have shot it like a shot reverse shot at least to show that it was both the same person. But it's sorry, there's something on my cheek. But other than that, like uh I think the musical interludes are interesting, but sometimes they kind of get in the way of a like an emotional moment in the film. So it's kind of like, it could have been better like integrated. But yeah, other than that, this film, I it's a comedy western, meaning again, it's a comedy western revenge film. This was nominated for stuff at the Oscars, one of them being original song, which I do like the music in this film. It's a much better musical than Amelia Perez easily. Um, and the songs aren't even a big part of it. It's just Nat King Cole and Stubby K just kind of randomly come into the movie in between certain scenes, but they do a good job of doing what they're supposed to do. Some of the songs are kind of funny. Um, Again, Jane Fonda, I think she's very capable with this role. This is a couple years before she was in Barbarella, which was the real big movie that like jump started her big career at the beginning. Um, Excuse me. The directing, I think, for the most part, is pretty competent. Uh, this Elliot Silverstein guy also did The Car, about the killer car. He did Flash Fire with or no, Billy Zane and Louis Gossett Jr. All right. Yeah, that's interesting. I do want to see the car though. I have the Arrow video of that. But the score again, the score is pretty a pretty nice banger. Uh I'm trying to oh my lord, there's so many stunts. Frankie Duvall. Yeah, or Frank Duvall. He also did the scores for The Dirty Dozen, Kiss Me Deadly, uh The Flight of the Phoenix, Guess Who's Coming to Dinner, Where I Happened to Baby Jane, Longest Yard. The Frisco Kid. I love The Frisco Kid. I have not seen that in forever. Oh, he also did the score to McClintock. I really do like McClintock. Um, but yeah, really good score. The stunts in this film, some of them are just insanely impressive. You have characters like falling off horses and stuff, or getting shot or whatever. But you have this one bit that's the most impressive stunt of the film, where they're outside of this train as they're like stealing money from the town, and uh, they're stealing taxes, so kind of like a Robin Hood thing. And they, one of the cowboys is like on the train and like holding on for dear life, and he looks like he's about to fall under it. And this is a real train he's hanging on to. If he falls, he's dead. It's one of those death-defying stunts from back in the day that just makes you enjoy those types of movies even more. There's a decent amount of that in this film. The humor I thought actually stood up pretty well. I think the I really enjoyed Tom Nardini in terms of like humor and him having an actual character growth. Um, there is a really funny funny part of this bit where they actually address the fact that he's like Native American in a kind of funny way, admittedly, where they're slapping around this guy for being like, I don't want to get with Cat, and then everybody's slapping him, and then Tom slaps him, and he's like, "What'd you do that for?" And he's like, by the power invested in me in the 14th Amendment, equal." He basically just goes with equal rights, equal fights, which I thought that was funny. That's a random freaking joke to make, and it caught me off guard. Um, but yeah, like I do enjoy this film. It's not, again, it wouldn't be on my top westerns, but I can understand why this film was well enjoyed. I can understand why it's a classic to an extent. Yes. Um, but yeah, that was my review of Cat Ballou. If you've seen the film, let me know what your thoughts are in the comments down below. If you have any recommendations, put them down there as well. And movie reviewer next door out.